Morning, it's Sari from Parent Plus. Just doing a quick video because I woke up this morning to the absolute tragic news that there's been a terrorist attack in Manchester. And obviously these are scary times and, not nice things to hear about, to witness, and it kind of makes it all the more scary when it's literally just up the road. The thing that's really struck me is the first thing I thought about is, I'm going to have to tell my daughter about this because I know it will affect her. So I just wanted to do I'll just give you a couple of hints and tips really about how you could talk to your children about it. There's a few things that are really quite key and quite important is, depending on your child's age, but if your child's going to school, your child is going to hear about this. Children are going to talk about it. And I think it's really important that things like this are described to your children or explained to your children by parents, because when children have ideas in their head and they will talk to each other about what happened, things will also then be embellished with their own imagination. I mean, could it be any worse? It doesn't get much worse than that. But again, it's about thinking about, sorry, to turn this off. It's thinking about how they will talk to each other about it and projecting their own fear and scare onto each other. So I would recommend that you do talk to your children about it yourself. It's on the radio, it's on the news, it's going to be everywhere. So they are going to hear about it, and it's much better coming from their parents, because they then feel like there's a certain element of control in this. Okay, the second thing is, so as soon as I told my daughter, she got really upset because we're going away on Friday, and then she said, I'm not going, it's not safe. So she went into irrational panic. Now, what the tendency is to want to do as a parent with these situations is tell them it's fine, you don't need to be scared, we're fine. Now, we are fine. Yes, it happened up the road, but we are fine and we are safe. However, it's really important that you don't tell them not to be scared, because they are scared. I mean, I know as an adult, when I see things like this, it really impacts on me, and it is scary. I mean, the thing that impacts me the most is the thought of all the young children separated from their parents and the families that were split last night, that are still alive, that still maybe not even found each other. That absolutely breaks my heart. Obviously, as well as people being killed and injured, is absolutely tragic, but there's also lots of other people affected by this trauma that are still here, and that now have to live with this fear and anxiety and obviously losing each other. So there's no way that we can say to our children not to be scared, because how can they not be scared? This is scary. So rather than saying to them, oh, don't be scared, we're fine, it's okay to say, yeah, it's really scary. I can understand why you feel scared. Mummy feels a bit scared about it. It's not nice. It's not a nice thing to hear about, and it's scary. With it being just up the road from us, really, where her dad goes to work every day near there, and it's things like that. That's her reality, and actually that is scary. So try not to tell them not to be scared, because in a way they just think you're not understanding where they're coming from. You don't get it. Like, why are you not scared when this is really scary? And it's okay for them to feel scared about it. And, you can bring some rationale into it if they start overthinking it. Like statistically we are, there's many more things we can come to harm with, but it doesn't mean it's not scary. And the other thing is, there's lots of things in the media that are really negative. My heart goes out to poor Ariana Grande this morning. Got a huge following of children, and then there's some people sharing things all over social media saying that she once said in a rage she wishes all her fans were dead, and now they're home. And it's just awful. But actually, there's also a lot of really, really positive things out there about people taking people into their homes, taxi drivers taking people home, hotels taking in children, and as human beings, we are generally very good-natured, kind, caring, compassionate people. So this is the bit we need to focus on with our children. So when they see the news, when they see things, they talk to each other about the scare. Make sure that when they come home, and if they talk to you about it and say people were talking about it at school, you share with them what you've seen, but try and share the bits. So I saw that there were taxi drivers were giving people lifts home that night for free to try and get people home safe. And because if you think about it as kind of explaining to them as like it's a pie chart. So if we had a pie chart, and for every good person that helped in this situation, we did a little dot, and actually we did then a different coloured dot for people that were negative in this situation or did bad things in this situation, we wouldn't even see those dots, because all the positive people would completely take that over. And I know that's kind of, for some may think that's a bit of an airy-fairy way of looking at it, but it's not. That's the reality of it, that there are lots of good people around, and thankfully we are surrounded by very compassionate people, and we all take care of each other. But there are going to be situations where we are surrounded and end up being made aware of really what I would call evil, completely, just not even, I haven't got words for it. It's horrific, So don't try and hide it from them, because they're going to find out, they're going to see, they're going to hear about it. And if they don't hear it from you particularly, then it might feel even more scary for them. And just validate their feelings. If they're scared, I woke up this morning, I felt scared, I felt angry, I felt sad. So there's 3 huge emotions all rolled into one, which then make you feel, or make me feel, slightly anxious. So again, there's a whole mix of feelings there. So don't expect them not to have any, because they're human just like we are. And also take care of yourself in this. That if you feel a bit anxious and you think, well, actually, this is nothing to do with me because I'm fine and I'm okay. No, it is something to do with us. It's to do with all of us. And it is something that we're okay to feel scared, sad, angry about. So again, validate your own feelings in all of this, because again, we will then project an impact on our children and how they are. Okay, helpful, thanks Zoe, no problem. So please, just the main thing is just validate their feelings. Of course they're going to be scared, of course they're going to feel overwhelmed by this. It is not normal, it is not something we hear about it a bit more often now, which is not great, but again, it's not something that, it's not an everyday occurrence, so it's scary, and it's there's no way of comprehending it. And this is particularly poignant for our children, because there's going to be talk of a lot of children. There were a lot of children at that concert. It is a concert that attracts mainly children, which makes it even more difficult to understand, and it means the children are going to relate to it even more. So just be mindful of that they may even feel the impact of this more than we will, because actually it's kind of their demographic, if you like. So just be mindful of that, and just, it's okay if they're scared about it. Give them a cuddle, tell them you understand that, yeah, it's really scary, and then look at all the positives. So when you're talking about it, rather than just trying to tell them not to be scared, you can still talk about the positive things that have come out of it. So I hope that helps. If anyone's got any specific questions or worries or concerns, do give us a shout. We are around. Okay, bye from the lovely, helpful, compassionate Manchester.